Jalshaka was a master of his nefarious profession. He knew many curses and hexes and had used them to bring discomfort and death many times. Jiao Fan could have chosen the phrases of his next statement more carefully. He said aggressively, "You owe me your luck. Destroy him now or I will destroy you." Jalshaka was quite shrewd. He knew that alliances between those of self-centered persuasion were unreliable and largely temporary. He always carried a representative doll around for everyone that he associated with. Jalshaka had known Jiao Fan for years, and so the doll had become quite detailed. It was comprised of hair, nails, skin, toothpicks, washcloths, and scraps of clothing. The stronger the sympathetic link to an individual, the more easily Yuluk's voodoo would work, and the more effective it would be. Jalshaka was in the process of desecrating some powdered acid to kill Jack, but instead he drew the doll that resembled Fan and rubbed his acid-covered, black-gloved hands over its enchanted surface. Jiao Fan spasmed and rolled around as his skin was rapidly eaten away. Underneath his robes, it was the same as where it was visible on his face. The blood began to pour out once the outer few layers of skin were dissolved. He was dead in seconds. The revulsion for the pain that he suffered faded from the face as its expressive qualities were eaten away. "Consider yourself paid in full," said Jalshaka, removing his skivers from the yak poppet and moving away from the area. He did not want the attention that this incident would bring. Jalshaka Yuluk was already wanted for outlawed occult practices in 3 nations. "All together now. 1, 2, 3, urged Jack, as he was still too unwell to assist in the righting of his dingo. The all-terrain 6x6 regained her wheels after several unsuccessful attempts. Her roll cage was slightly convex to enable this. Othun was practicing a few of the new techniques Arajakal showed him for swifter healing. Siraj had seen the whole event transpire, but had not even depressed his trigger. The Hand of Glory's magical umbra had eliminated any targets he may have had. Siraj inspected the cabin of the dingo. It smelled of cerulean wine. "Damn it!" he wailed. "What is it?" queried Othun with urgency. "You owe me a bottle of cerulean, Jack," said Siraj the scarab, only half joking. "Did someone say they were pouring me a wine?" suggested Garan Eid cheekily as he stepped into view, returning from his long journey around the grounds of the BTRC. 0. Jack, despite his many torrid years, was still keenly observant. He noticed that Arajakal didn't seem to drink very often, and when he did it was with a pained expression as if the water was extremely bitter. It was not a complete surprise that a fire elementalist would be repulsed by water, but Jack was still taken slightly aback that Arajakal's adoption of the element of fire was so deeply entrenched in his psyche that he did not bathe and hardly ever thirsted. Despite this fact, Arajakal always smelled somewhat appealing, like the charcoal or smoke from exceptional ancient timber. It was hardly a shock, then, that when the convoy reached a small sheltered billabong and Garan, Othun and Jack disembarked to fill their canteens and wash.